Hitting the start button. 5 minutes.
All right.
And then,
Cool.
so we got Lowell Hobbs from Tongues of Fire, obviously one of my favorite bands in the area, maybe in the whole country. Lowell, played you guys a bunch of times.
Whole country.
Doing,
Wild.
we're doing 4 questions in 5 minutes. We'll see if
All
we can
right.
knock this thing out. Okay, Lowell Hobbs from Tongues of Fire, and first question is, where was your first show and what was it like?
Our first show was at Tiger Mountain, actually, back when they actually didn't have DJ nights. And it was
Nice.
all right. I mean, there's probably like 30 people there. It was a decent first show.
How'd you bring
With
30 people there?
what?
How'd you get the crowd?
Oh, we actually walked the streets of Asheville and just like talk to people and bring them in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We were pushing that promo from the beginning. Let's see. Let me think about a memorable part of that show. I remember it had linoleum floors, right?
Yeah.
And there was people like spilling beer on the linoleum floors, so they were sliding around and falling over. And there's one guy that like crowd killed his girlfriend. I remember that. Like she's just standing there drinking a beer, and he was like, "Yeah," and just like pushed her over.
That is awesome. That's awesome. And then how did you develop your question two? Ready?
Okay.
Two. How did you develop your presence in the scene?
Our presence in the scene. That's an interesting one.
Because, like, honestly, like, I go to a Tongues of Fire show and there's like at least 20 people who, like, you guys start playing, they come in, they see you play, they leave. Like, it's the Tongues of Fire crowd. Like,
Yeah.
and you'll jump into them and they'll like crowd surf you around and they know what to do and they know lyrics, they know the whole thing. Like, you have, like, so
Yeah.
how did that develop?
I know in the very beginning, through the auditorium too, we just played at shows. We were doing shows like every week for the first like 2 months of the band maybe, and then people started coming to the shows for us. So we decided to like make the all the shows like an occasion, I guess. We're like, all right, we're gonna push this. We're gonna like make sure the lineup's tight and just like try to bring this crowd of people that like enjoy us out to this, like give them something to come out to.
Nice. You ready for question three?
Sure.
How did you put together your first tour and what was the biggest disaster of your first tour?
First tour. Yeah, that's been a while. That's actually how I first met Eli. I needed a touring drummer, and I decided just to phase him as the main drummer. But I can't even really think of. I think there's just somebody in Gainesville that wanted us there.
Gotcha.
So we just like centered something around the show in this show in Gainesville, Florida, and just kind of found stuff around it. I know the Gainesville show was horrible. I mean, I'd say that was the big disaster of the tour. It wasn't that bad. I knew we probably played for. There was literally one guy that wasn't in the bands that was there,
Yeah.
Adam. But Adam still follows us. We played a show to Adam.
How did people from Gainesville hear about you guys?
Um, I think we got somebody that like was from Gainesville a show, and they're like, "Well, since you gave us a show, we're gonna give you a show in Gainesville." That's just kind of
Gotcha.
how all of our tours work for the most part. Almost every one of the bands we play with in different like towns is somebody we've helped out in Nashville. Because we kind of became like some like the booking people for Asheville to a certain extent. People will be referred to us all the time, and we either give them shows or like send them to other people.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you guys have a very kind of clear sound and kind of idea of what you want to sound like, and so bands within that space definitely get like led to you guys in terms of
Mhm.
what's going on. I have like 30 seconds left. I'm going to try and do this thing in 5 minutes. Fourth question: how did you get onto Godless American Records label?
We played a lot of good shows in Orlando. That's basically uh, the short version of it. We played a show to like a dozen people. Next time it was like 30 people. Last show was like 75 people.
Damn. All right, that's my 4 questions. I'm going to follow up with two quick things. One, what's one thing a band can do like this next month which can help them be more successful?
People need to promote their shows. That's a big thing. And space them out like we eventually figure out how to do. Just make them an event, you know? Like don't be playing shows all the time and have nobody come out. Just have a big like thing. You're like, okay, we're releasing an album. Let's make this a show. You know, we're starting off our tour. We'll do something like that. Like we've just made a show like every month. This could be an interesting thing. You know, Melted Fest tomorrow.
Cool. All right. After Melted Fest, when's your next show?
We actually have a show on May 1st. Somebody dropped off a show at Pulp. So we're just kind of jumping in there.
Okay.
It should be pretty good. We haven't been at the Orange Peel in a while.
Cool. Anything else coming up?
Well, I have about 30 shows I'm planning right now for the band in the next few months. But we have at the end of May, we're doing a house show. This could be really tight. With the Turtles, Mouth Breathers, and Ghost Dog. They're about to break up because Will's moving away. So we're going to send him off in style.
Cool. All right.